turnip purple top white globe, while they can get to be the size of a softball, this is about the right size to pick them, about the size of a tennis ball. He's a little flattened tennis ball. I'll take that one as well. And garlic scapes. I'm going to thin out these turnips. This Rutabaga, I should say. This is the American purple top. They've grown much better, but they're in a soil with a lot more organic matter than the Thompson Laurentian. Rutabaga was my first lesson in how when you weaken a plant, it attracts the so-called pest insects. I let a bed of turnips get up one year, and I thinned them out by just pulling up the ones I wanted to discard, which disturbed the roots of the remaining ones and thus weakened them. There was a few holes, and you can see in these now there's the occasional bite out of the leaves, but nothing to worry about. And I pulled them up. The next morning I come out and the whole bed of turnips was just slimmed. Everything was heaped down right to the ribs. So this year I'm going to use scissors and just cut them off at the soil line like that. I'm not going to do it 6 inches apart right yet. I'm just going to spread them out a little bit, and then later on I'll thin them out some more. But in doing it this way, I won't have to worry about disturbing the roots and thus weakening the other plants. This is the next morning. Yesterday the turnip greens were wilting almost as soon as I cut them. And this is the lettuce that I've broadcast sowed, and I'm going to thin some out. I wanted to make a salad with those and some of the other greens. So with the wilting of the turnip greens, I said I better wait until the morning. And a little bit of a cool air mass came through. There's what some people would call a mizzle. It's not actually a drizzle, it's just a little bit of a falling mist now. And so these lettuce should be fairly plump. And I'm going to thin them out and make a salad with the thinnings. Lettuce is growing good again this year. It grew very well last year for me, and it's growing good this year. Oh, leaf lettuce. I haven't yet gotten head lettuce growing well, but I do have some planted, so we'll see what happens this year. As I mentioned before, when you broadcast sow, you're more likely to get the plant spread out. so they're easier to thin. I'll have to check the name of these and see exactly what I have planted here. The zucchini are growing. I got one plant flowering so far, and the other ones has got buds on them, so they're coming right along. And because of that, I'll take the lettuce out completely around the zucchini plants. Oh, that's why that one is smaller. He got more damaged when I transplanted them out. That's okay. Later today I'll put some mulch right up around them like I done with the pumpkin. I just thinned out about a third of the bed, laid the weeds down and the roots to compost in place. Here's my lettuce. It's a fairly large bowl. It's the bowl that I mix my bread in, actually. I think this is arugula. There are weeds in among it, but I'll sit in here now and pick through it. I guess I'll add whatever lamb's quarter I find to my salad. That'll be my salad greens for today. This bed didn't have such a good germination. They're fairly spread out. There was a lot of weeds in them among them because I didn't know which was which until they got bigger, of course. Some of them are flowering, and I'm going to let them flower. There's 2 or 3 I'm just going to let go to seed, and if I recognize them next year, then I'll have a salad green weeds in my bed, which is fine. When I'm weeding my bed, I'll be collecting salad at the same time. And to make note, the greens are growing good out here on the outside of this bed, and then as you go back, they dwindle away. It's actually Swiss chard back here. If you look over in that bed, the lettuce are growing good outside, and then when it gets further back they're much smaller. It's because this end is deep shade. It never gets direct sun. Well, first thing in the morning it gets a little bit of direct sun, and then the sun is gone for the rest of the day. And outside here it gets sun for at least 6 hours. In June it gets sun pretty much all day on the outside of this bed, as well as this one. So I'm pleased with how salad greens are doing for me, and they take partial shade but not deep shade. I've just sprinkled these around and I didn't label them. I'm going to go on to Bessie Seeds and decide on all the salad greens that I'm going to purchase, and then decide where I'm going to plant them next year. So I'll have everything prepared for them, and I will plant them out in the traditional rows and label everything so that I can analyze each salad green, its taste and how it looks, etc., etc., because as I've been saying, salad hasn't been a part of the culture, so many of these greens are totally new to me. So that's it for the salad greens video for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.